Hello guys. So this is day 48 of the daily RC practice series. This passage was an interesting read in sociology or sociological history. Let's look at the quick synopsis of this passage. So in the first paragraph, author introduces this company Pullman, which in the 1920s and 1930s was a major employer of the black community. It was apparently a generous company. But in the second paragraph, author reveals bitter truths about the company. Uh, he says that appearances were deceptive, the work conditions and the wages were poor. In a third paragraph, author introduces a prominent figure, Philip Randolph, who assumed the leadership of a labor union of the blacks, known as the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters (BSCP), or simply the Brotherhood. And as the leader of this BSCP, he fought to make the union, the blacks union, recognized by the company. It also led to a change in black workers' attitude. The fourth paragraph gives us a brief about the obstacles faced by PR. Initially, the blacks themselves were skeptical of this labor union because traditionally they had been barred from becoming members of any such union. The second obstacle was Pullman's own union, which further weakened the support for the BSAP. The next paragraph talks about the advantages that BSCP had, which made it successful despite all the obstacles above. The status quo was such that the grievances, the problems faced by the community of blacks, the black workers across the nation were similar. Also, the intimate nature of communication between them could not be intercepted easily. That helped organize mass support for the BSCP, the Brotherhood, that ultimately eventually led to some changes in the legislation. A law was brought into effect which prohibited an organization from funding its own union. It also encouraged solidarity among the black workers. The last paragraph talks about further ambitions of this guy, PR Randolph. His unremitting quest for more milestones. So he got this BSCP, the Brotherhood, recognized by the American Federation of Labor. He became a member of the same. And as a member of this federation, it had more influence on the member unions, fellow member unions. Basically, therefore, the passage talks about the impact that this man Randolph had on the legislation of the country in terms of or as regards labor unions of the black. With this basic understanding, we can look at the questions now. Question number 1. According to the passage, by 1935, the skepticism of black workers towards the unions was. Okay. So it is written here in the 1935, the Brotherhood became the first black union recognized by a major corporation. Randolph's efforts in the battle helped transform the attitude of black workers towards unions. And what was this attitude? Black workers were understandably skeptical towards unions. So we'll have to understand this idea. Prior to 1935, the black workers were understandably skeptical. They were doubtful of the unions. But in 1935, when the Brotherhood was recognized by the corporation, it helped transform this attitude, which means their initial skepticism must have reduced or diminished. Option A says it was unchanged. Quite the opposite. It says the attitude was transformed. So this is opposite to what the passage says. It was reinforced. Again wrong. Opposite. It was mitigated, maybe, by the efforts of Randolph. That's correct. It was weakened, maybe. The skepticism was weakened or it was transformed, okay, by the opening up of many unions. Well, the passage talks only about the brotherhood, one union, one such union, and not many unions. This is alien beyond the scope of the passage. Correct answer, option C. Question number 2. The usage of the word understandable in paragraph 4. Author most clearly conveys what? Okay. So here he uses the word understandable. And author says the first obstacle that this man Randolph faced was black workers' understandable skepticism towards unions, which had historically barred the black workers from membership. So basically, author says that because black workers were barred from membership of such unions, they were skeptical, they were doubtful about the union, and understandably so. So author shows a sense of sympathy or a sense of understanding for black workers' skepticism, black workers' attitude. A sympathy or understanding for the same. Okay, sympathy, correct, with attempts by the brotherhood. Now this is wrong. Author shows sympathy with black workers' skepticism or attitude towards the union and not towards the attempts by the brotherhood. So this is factually incorrect. He shows concern, not at all. The word understandable does not show concern. It shows ambivalence, not at all. It shows appreciation of the attitude of many black workers. It shows appreciation. The word shows appreciation of the attitude of many black workers in the 1920s towards unions. Now, guys, one meaning of the word appreciation is understanding. The second meaning, you're aware, admiration. And as we saw, author uses the word understandable to sympathize with their attitude, to understand their attitude. Author shows a certain understanding or appreciation of that attitude. Option D is the correct answer. Which brings us to an important pointer, guys. These secondary meanings of words, common words, these are secondary meanings or second meanings or whatever you want to call them. The unknown, the relatively unknown meanings of common words, they can help you crack such questions pretty easily. They're very important. And to come across such second meanings or relatively unknown meanings, you must read. And that is why I want to reinforce the point that I always tell students, always tell the aspirants, read as much as you can, read for the love of reading, so that you come across such words, you come across the new ideas, it opens new horizons for you in every way in terms of language acquisition. So read, guys. Next question. The passage suggests which of the following about the response of porters to the Pullman company's own union. Okay. Now it was written in fourth paragraph. An additional obstacle that Randolph faced was the union that Pullman itself had formed, which weakened the support among black workers for this black union, the independent entity, the brotherhood. We'll have to understand this idea now. If the brotherhood faced a lack of support among black workers because of Pullman's own union, it means that some workers were supporting Pullman's own union already. They already were some members of this union, right? So few porters ever joined this union. This is a negative tone, opposite. Some workers had joined the Pullman's own union. That is what we need. Some porters supported this union before 1935. That's correct. Option B. In 1935, their attitudes changed and they started supporting brotherhood. Before that, they supported this union. That is what can be inferred from this line. Okay. Option C. Porters more than other Pullman employees. Now, such a comparison is not given. Enthusiastically supported this. So this is alien. This is beyond scope. Such a comparison is not given in the passage anywhere. Option D, the porter's response was most positive after 1935. This is the opposite to what the passage says. Porter's response was most positive after 1935. किसको लेकर? About the brotherhood and not about the Pullman company's own union. In fact, their support for the Pullman company's own union flagged, receded, diminished, subsided after 1935. So this is opposite to what the passage says. Option B is the correct answer. Number 4. If the grievances of porters in one part of the United States had been different from those of porters in another part of the country, which of the following would have been the case? Okay, it's a critical reasoning question. If the grievances were different across the nation, which of the following would have been the case? Now it was written here, the brotherhood possessed a number of advantages. Okay, the porters were a homogeneous group working for a single employer with the single labor policy, thus sharing the same problems, same grievances from city to city. And that has been cited as one of the advantages that the brotherhood had, which helped it gain popular support. Which means if the grievances from city to city varied, it would be more difficult. It would have been more difficult for the brotherhood to gain such widespread support. It would have been more difficult to the Pullman company. Wrong. It would have been more difficult for the brotherhood to control its channel of communication. That's not what can be inferred. Again, factually incorrect. It would have been more difficult for the brotherhood to build its membership. That's correct. It would have been more difficult for the brotherhood to gain support of the blacks, because that was one of the multiple advantages that the brotherhood had. Okay. It would have been easier for the Pullman company's union to attract membership. And Pullman company, now, difficult for brotherhood to attract membership is not the same as easier for Pullman companies to attract the membership. So this is again, alien. The converse is not true automatically. This is beyond scope. Option C is the correct answer. Number 5. In the 1920s, a company in the United States was able to do what? Okay. So here it was written, it was only in the early 1930s that the federal legislation prohibited a company from maintaining its own unions with company money. And that allowed the brotherhood to become recognized as the porters' representative, blah, blah, blah. So this was another advantage. Now, this line suggests that in the 1930s, there was a law was passed which prohibited a company from maintaining its own unions with company money. But before 1930, it was possible. So it was able to use its own funds to set up a union in the 1920s. That is correct. But did it require its employees to join the company's own union? Is it written that Pullman mandated the employees to join the company's own union? Not at all. So this is alien. To develop a single labor policy for all its employees with a little employee dissent. Now, again, beyond scope, we don't know whether that was possible. It was, the company was able to pressure its employees to contribute money to maintain. Now, this is again an alien idea. So option A is the obvious answer, obvious choice. Number 6, passage supplies information concerning which of the following matters related to Randolph. Okay. Option A, the steps he took to initiate the founding of the brotherhood. Well, he assumed the leadership position is all we know from the passage. Nothing about the foundation of brotherhood is even mentioned remotely in the passage. So this is beyond scope. Option B, his motivation for bringing the brotherhood into the American Federation of Labor. Now, the last paragraph says, brotherhood got recognized by American Federation of Labor. It became a member of the same. And this guy, Randolph, reasoned that as a member union, the brotherhood would be in a better position to exert the pressure. So he reasoned means his intention behind making brotherhood a part of the American Federation of Labor has been mentioned in the passage. So his motivation or his intention in bringing the brotherhood into American Federation of Labor is mentioned. Option B should be the correct answer. The influence he had on the passage of legislation overturning the race restriction. Now, this is beyond scope. Passage simply mentions that restrictions were eventually found unconstitutional in 1944. Whether Randolph had an impact, had an influence here, is beyond scope of this passage. The influence he had on the passage of legislation to bar the companies from financing their own unions. Again, Randolph's direct influence on the passage of this legislation and the passage of this law is not mentioned in the passage anywhere. It is also beyond scope. Hope you got all of them right. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep watching, keep improving. We am signing off. Cheers to learning.